Welcome back to Caravan of Garbage, the show where we look at many, many things. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, sometimes you think it's going to be real bad, and then you watch it and you're like, this is alright.
I wouldn't mind it. I'll watch another episode of this.
And that's what we're looking at today.
Ah, it's a real shame.
Mission Impossible 1988 TV revival series.
You would think that's a recipe for disaster.
I thought it was going to be some A-team bullshit, kind of naff, and nobody gets hurt, and nothing happens, and it's just ha ha ha.
And everybody's an idiot.
Yeah, but
they save the day nevertheless.
This is a tight show, man.
I mean, it was the 80s, so there's a lot of big shoulders, and there's
a lot of big hair. There's a
yeah.
lot of that.
Yeah.
It should also be noted that this is a continuation of the 1960s series.
It is. So it's
went on hiatus for 15 or so years.
Yeah, so it's Peter Graves
Yes.
as Jim Phelps.
Yes.
He's coming out of retirement.
He has to.
For one more mission.
Okay, first of all, here's the pros of this episode. It's somehow good.
Yep.
Cons, there's no masks,
There's
no Mission
zero
Impossible
masks.
masks,
Yeah.
and no one goes rogue, which are the only things I want to see in a Mission Impossible series and or film.
Now, you want to see the main protagonist get critically injured, don't you?
That's
Like
right.
the actor portraying the main character.
So it kicks off right. There's an assassin. He goes into a party. I think it's the guy from the pilot of Star Trek: The Next Generation.
You think it is.
Is it?
That is John Delancey.
Okay, good.
He is, of course, Q from the pilot Encounter at Farpoint and many other episodes.
Okay, right. I just wanted to see.
Anyway, but in this, he's an assassin.
Yeah, so he goes to this party, and his idea is he's going to kill the head of IMF, or one of the top dudes, the
Yeah.
new Jim Phelps, who
Ooh.
trained under Jim Phelps. And he does it by shooting a diamond from a pen into his neck, and then this guy thinks he's on fire, and then he leaps out of a window in true Mission Impossible style with a stunt of sorts. And I thought, oh, he must be leaping out to a pool or something because he's on fire. But no, he's just
to his death.
leaping to his death. What if he didn't leap out the window? What if he just thought he was on fire? Nothing
Yeah.
would happen. He wouldn't die.
That's true, yeah. If
Like
somebody...
the poison would wear off.
If literally anybody had restrained him, held him down, if he'd said, hey, I'm on fire, and they just humoured him and dumped a bucket of water on him, he probably would be alive to this day.
So anyway, Jim Phelps gets delivered a little briefcase. He's been retired for a long time, it seems. He's out of the game.
Yeah.
Sure, he's done some car commercials in the early 80s. Maybe we can show some clips of that.
This is not your father's Oldsmobile.
But they've kind of updated the this is your mission kind
Yeah.
of thing. It used to be like a record player, I believe, in the original series.
It was cave paintings.
It was cave, that's right, yeah.
And then what would happen is you'd read the information on the cave paintings. Or they'd release a woolly mammoth and it would just tear the cave to pieces.
Right, so he opens up his little briefcase. It's got a thumb scanner.
Yeah.
First of all, great tech in this series.
Not bad,
It
yeah.
doesn't feel too aged considering when it's from.
And it feels mostly realistic.
Yeah, it does. So he's got a little bloody mini disc player with a tiny little disc.
See, that's the part that annoyed me because
Why?
it's a self-destructing box, right? Why does he need to take the little disc out and put the little disc in? It's
a good question.
And then it's because it's a little disc.
It's a little
and they
disc
wanted
and
to
it's
show
cool.
off that it's a little
They
disc.
wanted to show a little disc. Good stuff.
Was CDs prevalent in 1988?
I think they had them, but they were very new technology.
Yeah,
they were the
the-
laser discs of their day.
Yeah, you know what? It would have been one of those things where if you wanted a CD player, it was $700.
That's right, yeah.
And they were like, "This will
Where-
hold 6 songs."
Yeah, that's right.
Can you or a mission briefing?
If you stepped near it, the laser would kind of go out of alignment and it would never work again.
You'd have to get a technician in. He would charge you $700.
Correct. So we get a look at his new team. Now,
Yeah.
there are recurring cast members from the original series, but there's none of that in
really?
this episode.
You know what? They seem more like hobbyists than
Yeah.
any kind of... They weren't like, this guy's an ex-Green Beret and now he does this. It's like, this guy's a rock climber or something.
This guy likes model trains, maybe?
This guy's a drama teacher. But he also is in the IMF for some reason. Really?
That is literally one. His name's Nicholas Black. He teaches drama and he's also a master of disguise and changing his voice.
I'm fairly confident. I don't know when this is coming out, but we also played the Mission Impossible video game.
That's coming up next week.
There's a character in that, he can disguise himself as a bad guy, and he's got a boomerang. And I'm pretty sure that's this guy. But we see no boomerangs whatsoever in this episode.
Not in the pilot episode.
No.
Cassie Randall's the next one. She's a top designer. Also, she helped trap a terrorist group that killed her boyfriend. So she's also a designer slash in the IMF.
Yep.
Then there's Max Hart. His brother was in Vietnam and he never came home. So he just went and got him.
All right.
That's pretty good.
That's impressive, yeah.
Oh, sorry, there's also Grant Collier, who's Barney's son from the original series. And he's the greatest mind in MIT for the last 20 years. So a guy with actual legitimate abilities, it
Yeah,
would
right.
seem.
And a great cardigan.
That's right.
He's got 2 great things.
So this killer, we find out his name is Drake.
Yeah.
Like the duck.
Not the rapper?
No.
All right.
Like the duck, Mason.
Okay, all right, like a male duck.
Like a male duck.
The most terrifying. Normally, it's like the condor or the eagle
Yeah,
or the
that's right.
shrike.
The
Now
jackal.
it's like
Yeah.
he's a boy
The
duck.
spear.
It's the boy duck.
The boy duck. So the boy duck, right?
Yeah, I'm listening.
The way that he murders his victims, and this is why no one's ever been able to catch him, because he decides at the very last minute what he's going to do.
I mean, the last time he did use a very elaborate diamond shooting pen. So, I mean, there must be some forethought.
I guess so.
Like,
yeah.
when does he choose? In fact, the method he uses in this particular episode, you need a lot of planning.
So, in terms of the methods he's used before, the ones they mention are poison and a sniper rifle. That impossible to predict. Just shoot a guy with a rifle. But hey, good on him. So anyway, they go to London, because that's where his next target is going to be. It's going to be some random union guy.
And you know what happens when you go to London? Accents.
Yay! Boy, do they. And he's there, Mason.
Yes.
So the idea is they want him to go to their hotel. But the thing about this guy is, he always picks a hotel at complete random when he gets there.
Oh my
So
God.
he'll look at a letter and be like, S, okay? And he'll go to S in the phone.
I want to go to the
get that one.
snake hotel. It's full of snakes.
So they're ready, waiting for him in the first cab.
Yep.
But he doesn't want to go to the first cab. He goes to the second cab. Guess what?
They're also waiting for him in the
there.
second cab.
Brilliant. So they get in
What
and
if he'd gone to the third cab, though?
what if he did go to the bloody third cab?
That's what I'm talking about.
So I can't remember the name of the hotel that he mentions, but they go, yeah, no worries, I can take you there. So they take him kind of the long way, and they put a whole lot of stuff to kind of block him from getting there immediately. And the reason they do that is because the rest of the team are at the hotel, and they're changing all the signage, they're changing the street sign, they're etching pint glasses with like laser glass cutters.
They're printing off
Menus and coasters.
menus and promotional magazines. They're writing a magazine. They're like,
right, yeah.
hey, welcome to the Reuben. What is it? The Reuben Hotel, the Rhubarb
Something like
Hotel.
that,
It's the
yeah.
Rhubarb Hotel.
Sure. They're doing all of this stuff, and I'm genuinely impressed watching this. So when he picks his own room at random, they're like, oh no, because we had room 7 prepared for him, and what are we going to do? So they switch the numbers on the door. Very classy, very cool. So they get him in the right room.
You'd think he would notice. He'd go, okay, here I am, room 10, 11, 7?
No, they switch the corridor.
Oh, what?
Yeah, they're way ahead of you, Mason.
Wow, that is
They've got
madness.
2 cabs. They've got multiple signs. They've got pint glasses he never sees. They are well ahead of him.
Hey, mister, you want a pint? No. Ah, damn it. Could have saved a minute there.
So he needs to make a phone call to find out what his next mission is, but he's not going to use the phone in the hotel. He's not an idiot, Mason. So he goes outside to a phone box. And you'd think that the IMF team wouldn't be ready for him, but guess what? They fucking are.
Yeah, that's right. They got some sort of laser microphone situation going on.
So they know exactly where he's going. So they find out what his mission is, and his plan is to meet a blonde woman with a white rose in the park. So what they do, they ring back, they pretend to be him, and they decide to meet with the woman, and then they send the IMF agent to meet with him, pretending to be the person to give him the mission.
It's actually very clever.
It's very clever. Okay, so the next step is they need to figure out how he's going to kill this union guy. So they got their IMF plant waiting in the room to be murdered. But he's like, don't worry about it, I won't be murdered. I mean, he's not, but it seems like...
It's a very thin line, isn't it?
That's it. So they're following Drake. He slips the tail somehow.
Yeah.
He's a boy duck. He can do what he wants.
That's
He's
right.
amazing.
He's got that oily coating.
That's
you know?
it. They know he's going to strike in 15 minutes, but they don't know how or where. But he goes to the room underneath. He cuts a hole in the roof. He sticks explosive putty under the IMF agent. They have no idea it's coming, Mason. And then he bails.
Yeah,
He's out of
the
there.
explosive putty is made up from golf balls.
Yeah.
Again, he had to have some explosive golf balls on him.
And I guess he got them through customs. I mean, it's the 80s.
It's the 80s. You can get anything through customs.
That's it.
You know, you can just be like, "Hey, can I take this gun on a plane? I'm gonna need this gun later. For what? Just later."
golf.
Yeah, it's my golf gun.
So basically, though, they see him leave the hotel and they realise he must have set something up.
Brett, get out of there. Get out now.
They escape just in time. The room explodes. It's a bit of a stunt. But what I like about this is, though, they do set up stuff that never comes into play. Like, he doesn't go in the same...
pint glasses.
The pint glass. He never goes into the same room as the guy. It didn't matter what he looked like.
That's true, yeah.
So you're seeing things that don't end up ultimately paying off.
Well, I guess at some point it's simultaneously interesting and disappointing. Like, you know, where you watch a Bond movie and he uses exactly the gadgets that
Yeah.
are required, and you're like, how
When he
did
got that avalanche-proof snow jacket.
Yeah, right.
And then he uses it.
Yeah. Oh, he's got that gun that shoots a weird round that makes somebody inflate and become irresistible to crocodiles or whatever, you know?
So anyway, Boy Duck gets back to his hotel room. and who be waiting for him, Mason? She's the IMF agent, and she pretends to try and kill him. The idea being that then he'll go back and kill his boss.
Yes.
Because then they'll find out who Scorpio is, who's the mastermind of all of this. Did I mention that earlier?
Never.
I can't remember.
But you know
That's
what?
the ultimate plan, though. So he kills her, or he thinks he does, but it's an elaborate bloody misdirect. And he goes back to kill Scorpio.
Yeah, right.
And then we're going to see the big reveal of who Scorpio is. And it turns out it's just some guy from the party at the start.
Yeah.
Who I didn't really remember.
It was
Is
the
that
guy from
is that the same
earlier.
guy?
Yeah, it was the weird thin-lipped man who I thought was Jim Phelps initially. And I'm like,
Ah,
all right.
and the Scorpio has become the Scorpion, Mason.
That's absolutely right.
He decides to use the same method to kill Scorpio as he did the agent at the start. So I guess he must have bought 2 of those diamond poisoned hallucinogen
guess,
things.
yeah.
He gives him the poison, and the guy, realizing that he's gonna die, grabs his gun. But Boy Duck has already taken the bullets out of the gun.
He's
one
ahead.
step ahead.
He's the ultimate assassin.
But what he's not ahead of is that guy just throwing a knife at him and
sure.
hitting him in the stomach.
Yeah.
So we don't see it, but Scorpio jumps out the window to his death also.
Yeah.
Good on him. But Drake, Boy Duck,
Mm-hmm.
he lives. He's in an ambulance at the end and he sees all the IMF agents there who he saw in England.
They're
and he
laughing
was
and
like,
back patting.
yeah, he's like, you fucking pricks. You were one step ahead. And that's the end of this show.
Wait, does he come back ever?
I don't know.
Should we have looked into it?
Well, I started to watch another episode because I really enjoyed this.
Me too. I also started watching another episode.
But then I realized, I think we both realized, that all of these are exactly the
Every
same.
episode's exactly the same. It's always just tricking somebody into going in the wrong room.
Yeah, and there's a murder up top, and then they get a mini disc player, and then they assemble the team, and then all the other things unfold. And
Who should I use on this particular impossible mission? The same guys as last time? The only 4 people also in the credits? I guess so. I guess I could use some fashion designing and some drama teaching on this mission, yeah.
yeah, great stuff. All in all, though, I think just pick one episode and watch it.
Yeah, and you'd be
You don't have to
pleasantly
watch
surprised.
all of them, but it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Especially-
aside from all those problems we talked about.
Yes, aside from all those
During this.
problems, yeah. But overall, I give this better than Mission Impossible 2,
Oh, absolutely.
but not as good as Mission Impossible 4.
That's a good solid.
So Mission Impossible 3, I guess.
Yeah, it is. Oh.
It gets a Mission Impossible 3
It's
from
Mission
me.
Impossible 3 by way of Mission Impossible 1.
Anyway, we do Caravan of Garbage here every week. We're playing a game next week related to Mission Impossible, and it quite possibly is one of the dumbest things we've ever played.
It's so weird and bad. I don't understand. Here's a little hint. It's set in Russia.
Yep.
I think maybe it was made in Russia as well.
It may have been made in
It's
Russia.
got that vibe about it.
Yeah, unforgiving.
Yeah.
And nonsense.
It's a real worker and parasite.
Yeah, definitely. But there's videos for Caravan of Garbage every Tuesday, but there's also other videos here every Sunday and Thursday. Plus, we have a podcast called The Weekly Planet where we talk movies and comics and TV shows. And you can also find all of that at the great planetbroadcasting.com. It's collated, isn't it, Mason?
If you want to toot your own horn, absolutely, planetbroadcasting.com.
I don't run that site, Mason, but I will happily toot the horn of those who do. Goodbye.